if you want to break down the power structures that exist today, the real influence networks, you got to go after nonprofits. You got to go after political nonprofits. You got to go after money in politics. If we were able to get Buckley overturned and we were able to impose new rules on nonprofits, you would undo the entire conservative movement overnight. You wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, wealth is a lot like it's a lot like that scene in Jurassic Park where he's like, life finds a way. Like they would find a way to fight back, but that would be a huge setback. You would nullify groups like Americans for Prosperity.
Oh yeah. That's
they're not really for prosperity. There's a hint.
No.
Right. Well, it's all the groups. They all named these like really, Americans for Prosperity, the New Civil Liberties Alliance.
But we all know that these groups, it's like, why did Charlie Kirk start Turning Point USA? Because it's all about making money. It's all about how many people can I hoodwink into convincing them that giving their money to me is a good thing. The carnival barker has been around for hundreds of years. The traveling circus has been around for hundreds of years. And so when the circus comes to town, there's always one carnival barker who has some snake oil that they're going to sell, and they're going to do their best, tap dance, if you will, to get as many people to buy that snake oil. Donald Trump is the greatest snake oil salesman we've ever seen. And so here we are today with a lot of people that are either imitators or ones that have long come before him that did it one way, may have been effective, maybe not as much. And, he broke the mold, if you will. And so here we are just trying to have some semblance of a democracy. I know, foreign word at this point, but I think we can close with this. The only way we're going to get there is through a coalition of labor and the environmental movement. And there are people within the labor environmental movement that are going to have to accept the fact that there are people that are going to lock arms with you that believe in a living wage, that believe in universal health care, that believe in a clean energy grid, that believe in ending the endless wars, that believe in real criminal justice reform.
But they're sick of the overwoke crap.
They are going to vote for Trump or DeSantis. And the only way we're getting there is if people accept the fact that I may not agree with you on that, but I sure as hell agree with you on this policy. And I know this for a fact because at the Post last night, I had a very long conversation with a gentleman who is a firefighter, is in the firefighter union, and is a very big Trump and DeSantis supporter. So as far as I can tell, if we're going to get there, it's going to take this sort of coalition that is going to, begrudgingly in some instances, have to accept the fact that there are people that we will have to lock arms with, that we don't all agree with.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think this is sort of a tilting at windmills a little bit, because I on the ground, the big fights for, let's say abortion rights, these ballot measures, the people of all backgrounds who agree on the thing, they do come together. That is happening. It's happened. The labor movement is happening. People of different beliefs are coming together. I just don't think that, nationally, at a national level, the response from progressive left to the fear mongering around woke, politics should be like, it's whatever. Because at the end of the day, trans people, the existence of trans people shouldn't be a political issue. It shouldn't be something, trans acceptance doesn't hurt America in any way. It doesn't make our society worse that we become more accepting of people. Like, that's nonsense. And I'm going
to give you a great point. Like, this is something that isn't getting talked about. I'm
so tired of hearing
I am too.
the Republicans against these they're groomers, they're wokesters. Like, that's not a problem. You know what a problem looks like? It looks like rising sea levels and the Zika virus moving north. It looks like tropical diseases in New York City in the next decade. Like, that's what a problem is. That's why we need
to not worry. That's why we need to focus on those issues.
But to get there, I'm not willing to leave behind trans people. And be like, you know what, you're fodder because I need to form this alliance.
But why are they fodder? They're not fodder. But what I'm saying is, if I go to, let's say, an Elks Club, whatever, and it's very right and but they believe in a living wage. Well, I'm going to work with them on that. We're not going to talk about the trans issue because quite honestly, I'm not really concerned with their opinion on that. I'm not saying it's not important, but I'm saying that we can work on economic justice issues, and that's its own thing. And that's what keeps us all, we're all in the same boat. That's the point.
Very important.
Well, I agree. Like, if you're working towards minimum wage, work toward minimum wage. But when the time comes and it's like they're trying to criminalize transition care and throw parents of trans kids in jail, or doctors who perform gender affirming care, throw them in jail, better be out there with them too on the front lines. Like,
absolutely.
You have to be ready to put your body on the line because they might be coming for trans people today. It might be Black people tomorrow, or Jews the next. Like, it's
right.
This right-wing movement that exists today needs an enemy, and it won't stop. Like, trans people are less than 1% of the population. They're coming. They might be coming for you next. So
but I fight them too, right? Like, so that's my fight too, every much as it. But that doesn't mean that I can't work with people who aren't on my same team on the broader issues.
And we also have to hone in on who the real problem or the disruptors are. The people who are really causing this problem are people like Matt Walsh, who was just on Joe Rogan the other day, and Joe Rogan asked him point blank, how many kids under the age of 18 are taking puberty blockers in the United States that have been prescribed that for themselves? And Walsh said it's in the millions. And so Jamie, his producer, he had enough.
He had to
said,
look it up.
I'm not letting you get away with this. So he looked it up and he said it's between 4,000 and 5,000. That's it. So to treat this like it is a manufactured crisis is what it is.
And those are decisions, by the way, that are between doctors and patients. They're very case specific. Like puberty blockers are not just for transitioning. It's for kids who have medical conditions that require these are decisions that are best left to the medical professionals. Right. And between parents and of minors and doctors to make the best decision for their families. Holding this up, like they hold this up as like a threat to the country, that this is dangerous, that this is ruining. Like it's just finding a scapegoat and directing all the frustration that's out there, which has gotten worse through the pandemic. People have the economy is harder. People are there's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people have died, lost loved ones. It's a very vulnerable time for the country, and they're taking that and they're directing it at teachers, trans people.
Horrible.
Like they're targeting groups and holding it up like, oh, they're teaching your kid to hate America in school. They're teaching your kid that gay people exist, and they're grooming your kid. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. It is so dangerous and so morally bankrupt. If your political project depends on holding up a vulnerable group of people in this country as an enemy and saying that, if your political project depends on that, your political project deserves to fail.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.